All right, so today we're going to be talking about negative space, and we're going to do a negative space exercise using a stool. So in this exercise, we're going to be drawing the space around the stool and between the legs, which is the negative space, positive space being the object itself. So by drawing these shapes of the spaces, the stool will naturally emerge. So we're not actually drawing the stool. Now, if I move too quickly, make sure to pause the video at any point so that you can keep up. So the first step is to lay down some organizational lines. Now, these are kind of like markers that help us and guide us as we're drawing. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to consider the space between the object and the frame itself. So make some markers now, again, thinking about how far off the object is from the frame at every point. Next step is that we're going to be drawing the negative space on the right side of the stool. So notice on the right side, I've highlighted the shape of the space. Again, you've already had some markers that you laid down, so you should have a guideline as to how far the stool leg and the stool top is from the marker. Now let's get the shape of that space drawn. The next step is to draw the left side of the stool by drawing the shape of its space. Once again, we've already laid down some organizational lines for the top of the stool and the sides of the stool and the leg. So we should be focusing now on the shape of that negative space on the left side. Finally, we're going to be drawing the space between the legs of the stool. Again, look at those spaces as shapes themselves. And if we think about it this way, it is a measuring tool, right? So again, you're drawing the shapes of the space, considering the width and the height of each of these shapes and comparing the shapes to each other. All right, now that you have the shapes laid out, you should already start to see the outline of the stool coming through if you put the shapes in the right places. Let's double check and make sure that those spaces are aligned properly within the stool. So look at the stool legs, and those shapes should align with those orange, or rather green markers there. And again, make sure that the shapes of your stool between the legs are aligned properly. Now again, we're looking at these horizontal beams on the bottom of the stool and also the beam that runs across the legs as well. Again, if the shapes are placed in the right way, then this beam should naturally come through. If you've gotten your shapes down correctly, then your stool should emerge naturally. So now the next step is to add cross hatch marks around the object, filling the negative space. Now, hatch marks are evenly spaced parallel lines, and cross hatch marks are lines that run opposite each other. So the final product should look something like this. Great job on today's exercise. I hope you guys got a little understanding of negative space and how it could be used as a measuring tool, but also a way of filling that negative space in a way that's interesting using crosshatch marks.